Welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we are watching and reacting to Toronto FC versus CF Montreal in MLS Week 14 of 2024. The 401 Derby, the home 401 Derby, possibly of a possible four that we know are very possible. The first of a possible four that we know are very possible. Tonight in Toronto. Of course, the Canadian Championship semifinal could easily be Toronto versus Montreal, which would make it 4. The final could easily be Toronto-Montreal, which would make it 3. And who knows, maybe the Leagues Cup will have a Toronto-Montreal match. And who knows, the playoffs, but we do know 3 or 4 are very possible. We know we got 2, but let's see if we get 4. But this is the first of 2 for sure. First of 3 or 4, very likely. Maybe first of more. Starting 11s are as follows. For Toronto, in goal, we got Sean Johnson. The back 3, Raul Petretta, Nixon Gomes, Sigurd Rosted. The midfield 4, Tyrese Spasser, Davy Flores, Alonso Coelho, Federico Bernardeschi. The midfield attacking 2 of Matty Longstaff, Lorenzo Insigne, Prince Owusu up top. For Montreal, in goal, we got Jonathan Sawa. The back 3 of George Campbell, Joel Waterman, Alvarez, Fernando Alvarez. The midfield 4 of Juan, Samuel Piet, Matthew Chouanier, Ariel Lasseter. The attacking midfield 2 of Jules Anthony Vilson, Bryce Duke, and Sanusi Ibrahim up top for Montreal. The starting 11s, and, well, with how quick I jumped in, well, I'll be able to say I'm here too. The BMO logo's always been there. Hey, who knows? Maybe we could have put the milk logo on there for a day that the Leafs have. Maybe we could have done that. I don't know. You know, that is probably a good point, though. But they did move. The BMO headquarters ended up getting moved to Toronto back, what, in the 80s or something? 70s, 80s? From Montreal. So who knows? They basically said, screw you. But who knows? I mean, hell, even LAFC has a BMO logo on their jerseys now. We got it first. Starting 11s are as follows. Sean Johnson, Raul Petretta, Nixon Gomes, Sigurd Rosted, Tyrese Spasser, Davy Flores, Alonso Coelho, Federico Bernardeschi, Lorenzo Insigne, Matty Longstaff, Prince Owusu. And yes, if you're complaining about me wearing the Parley jersey, I was kind of pissed off when I realized my rotation ending up like this. Funnily enough, starting 11, Sawa, Alvarez, Waterman, Campbell, Lasseter, Chouanier, Piet, Juan, Vilsant, Duke, and Ibrahim. But yeah, the Parley jersey being worn today, the irony is not lost on me. Irony's not lost on me. Also, the time I wore the Parley jersey for the first Charlotte match when they were at home this year as well, against a team who wears powder blue and white. Yeah, that didn't end up well either. Whenever I have to wear the Parley jersey, I look like a jackass. Seems like it this year. The rotations made me look like a jackass this year with the Parley jersey. The irony's not lost on me. Players to watch. Lorenzo Insigne for TFC. I love it. And if they win the Europa League final and the Europa League final stream does as well as I think it will, because all my Leverkusen stuff that I've done before has done pretty well. Must be the Leverkusen fans, not the Toluca or St. Louis fans. I will be doing the DFB Pokal final on Saturday next week if they win the Europa League final. I guess if they lose on penalties, technically I still could, but that would just be weird. Matthew Chouanier, the player to watch. I'll be live for the Europa League final as well, because this is some history we haven't seen on this channel, and it may not happen again. I think we have to cover the Leverkusen complete invincible season. So, if they win the Europa League final, we'll cover the DFB Pokal final because they should win it anyway. But Leverkusen fans have came to my channel a good bit before too. Montreal wearing their away kits, their powder blue, white-ish kit. Not going to lie, BMO sponsored the Impact and TFC, but not Whitecaps is kind of hilarious, especially considering the LAFC sponsorship. Yeah, that's true. Why only if they win the final? Because I do not care about the DFB Pokal final if Leverkusen loses the Europa League final. The fun of it is the fact that I'm trying to watch history. I'm not getting off my ass at 9:30 in the morning to watch a game where they had just lost and they had lost the history portion of it against a second-tier team they're probably going to beat anyway. Why would I get off my ass and even cover it? But just even get off my ass. See, the point is if they beat Atalanta, they still have the complete invincible season on against Kaiserslautern in the DFB Pokal final. It's history. It'll be, of course, the Leverkusen fans. It seems like Leverkusen fans like me will find out on Wednesday if that continues. But it was long enough in between the St. Louis and Toluca games where those games doing so well kind of tells you exactly that, hey, these Leverkusen fans love watching content about their team. And that was when they were bad, or not as good. So we'll see. North Wilkesboro flooded. Yeah, I think I heard about that. No. Oh, no. 2017 TFC wouldn't have beaten Bayer Leverkusen. Besides, we're known for giving up goals in the last 5 minutes. We're right in their trap. Like, any TFC team is right in Leverkusen's trap, this year's Leverkusen's trap. They would give up a goal to lose the game or either tie it in the last 5 minutes. Like, that's just us. Like, we're not going to give up a goal? It'd be funny if we're the ones who don't. It'd be funny if we were the ones who didn't. Like, that'd be like, what? A team that's known for scoring stoppage time goals to save their undefeated record. Done do it against the team who's known for giving up last-minute goals? What? No, they wouldn't have. That's on Cesar Montes, rumors to Tigres. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes back to his home country, but Tigres have center defenders. Okay. Now, America, that'd be smarter because, again, their back line is not great. But I agree with that. Best TFC could have, like 2017 TFC could have, but we're past that. Now, it's definitely going to be a war, but we'd probably still lose. I thought I was already watching them. I thought I was already watching them. I kid. This isn't 2019. That's a stupid line. We're not the best team in CONCACAF. This isn't 2019 where I could arguably make that argument, or even 2020. No, I'm not. Being realistic, no, I'm not. How we doing, Risklander? No. There it is. There it is. Now I'm not watching the best, who you think the best team is. America isn't even the best team in CONCACAF. And Chivas, well, again, you had that argument in 2018 as well. Not anymore. Ironically enough, though, this Chivas squad is better than the one that beat Toronto in 2018. I just had that thought about 30 minutes ago out of nowhere. Gago is just as good of a manager as Almeida. You got Piojo Alvarado, Gutierrez. They got a good team. Oh, I know how you feel. Just look at last year. I know how you feel. Hell, the past 3 before this. I know how you feel. Yeah, that's probably what I'd say. How we doing, Mile High? Game's about to start in a couple of minutes. Holy crap, that's a late kickoff. That's tomorrow. I'm confused. I'm watching Cruz Azul tomorrow. I'm watching them tomorrow. They're basically already in the finals. They should be. I agree with that. I'm not watching San Jose to save my sanity. Fair enough. And I had to watch the Toronto games last year, so nobody else had to. And I'm doing just fine, my friend. I'm doing just fine. My sanity's okay. We're back. About to start. How we doing, Henry? Things have been better this year, though. Game's about to kick off at 40 instead. 6-6-1, win-loss and draws, 19 points. Montreal's 3-6-3, 12 points. Toronto, if they win, of course, they can tie their points record from last year. 6 on the table is Toronto. Referee tonight is Alan Chapman. I can live with that. Imagine being forced to see Seattle Sounders matches without stopping for 24 hours. I would smash my head into a wall. If they were good, well, it's memories that I don't want to remember. If it's while they're bad, well, it's just because I don't want to watch bad football, and they're playing bad football right now. And we're off. I can't win either way. Toronto versus Montreal. Ball played forward. Toronto is the better team coming into this game. They have not won a game against Montreal since 2020, and they have not won a home game against Montreal since 2019. It's been a while. It coincides with our horrible era, and COVID. It's been a while. We didn't win the home game in 2020. I think we were technically the home team in the MLS's back tournament, but we were in Orlando, so I guess that doesn't count. But we were technically the home team. And then we lost our home game in that 6-game Canadian Championship phase of the season. We won both in Montreal. We won 1-0 on a penalty. And then we won when Josie Altidore scored that last-second goal to make sure we'd win the game, the second one in Montreal. We drew a game at home in 21 against them, but it's been a while. I agree, but also, Montreal has played some good football throughout the year. I think they were hard done by losing to Miami. I'm not going to lie. And we're off. 124. Not as far back as I thought. Okay. Made $100. Saw Drake bet on Fury on his IG, so we all know about the Drake curse. Man's posting about bets instead of writing diss tracks towards Kendrick. Okay. What a punk. Playing forward. TFC playing forward. Talking about bets instead of posting diss tracks. Shot! Bernadeschi blocked! Good play by TFC, but nothing there. TFC really pressing hard for this one. Drake needs to drop. Drop. You bet $50,000. I wouldn't be doing that when freaking Kendrick's about to bankrupt your ass, but okay. Someone needs to have the fans chill on the pyro. The visibility is pretty terrible now. It's a derby. I'm okay with it. Like, I'd rather this be the... the visibility sucks, but I'd rather this be the case. Both teams scored. Toronto, Montreal, Minnesota money line, Salt Lake money line, Columbus or draw. What do you think? Both teams score between Toronto and Montreal. I would take that because I have a feeling they will. I still think Toronto wins, but I have a feeling it'll be like 3-1. But yeah, you're right. Minnesota money line, they're playing really good right now. Salt Lake money line, they're the best team in the West right now. Columbus or draw. I'll take the double chance there as well. Yes. Good setup. I'll take the double chance there. Yeah. 3 minutes in, 0-0. Yeah, I would take it. That doesn't sound bad to me. Toronto's honestly all over Montreal. Even if they've given them possession, they're all over them. Four minutes in, blocked away. Ooh. What a good play by Vilsaint. That was heads up. Lost the feed. Well, when Blitzo comes in, you can ask him. It's not my job to tell you. Also got Kansas City Royals money line, Canucks money line, Mavs money line. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hope you're having a drink to celebrate of your choice. I'm not going to, what's the word? Recommend anything, but I hope you're having a fun day, a great day. Hope you're celebrating. And I hope it's all you expected it to be. Playing forward, good pressing. Five minutes in. Longstaff. TFC goal. Holy shit. Lovely. Go Mies. Let's see how it sees. I am a couple of seconds behind. Playing forward, Petretta. Oh, there you go. Tyrese Spicer. Spicer crosses in. Longstaff taps it in. Matty Longstaff. Matty Longstaff. TFC goal, baby. 1-0 over Montreal. What a cross by Tyrese Spicer. Matty Longstaff with another. Yeah. Wouldn't shock me if they take it away, though. Here an offside. Let me see that. Petretta lays it back. Spicer's right there. The ball's played before he's offside. I think. Matty Longstaff's in there. If they don't check it, it's a steal. Not like I'll complain. After some of the bullshit of the past week, I think we deserve this one. Let us have it. You'll get one. Nobody's on the back. And we get it. Matty Longstaff in the 6th minute. Nobody's on the back. This one in the 3rd kit from last year, I don't have anybody on the back. And these are so rare that I really don't want to take these to Soccer Master and put somebody on there from 21 and then Coelho on the away or the 3rd kit. It's too rare. Well, not the 3rd. Well, I think I could still buy another 3rd kit, but, you know, this one is rare. I'm not going to even test it. I didn't do it in the moment, and I ain't doing it now. 1-0 Toronto, Matty Longstaff. I have a good feeling about this game. Yeah, they're all over him. They're all over him. I agree. I can't believe he's in MLS. Like, I know he got hurt, but dude shouldn't be in MLS. He's good. Like, Newcastle let him go. Like, he's good. Like, he should not be in MLS. I'm happy he is, and I'm happy he's in Toronto. I'm happy John Herdman found that to happen, but he should not be here. He should not be here. It's awesome that he's here. Maybe, I think. I thought it would be later, but I don't know. Another instance of the arbitrating screwing us over. Hey, let us have this one. We've had a horrible week. You'll get a goal, I'm sure. There'll be twists and turns in this game, I'm sure. I said both teams to score. There'll be twists and turns. Now, if it's enough to get you a point, I don't know. But I thought he was onside when the ball was played. So I thought he was just barely onside when the ball was played. That was just me, though. But yeah, I mean, Toronto's all over them. They're playing the game that they need to play. I'm very happy with this. Even if they're giving possession, they're still all over them. This is a great game. 1-0 Toronto. Matty Longstaff, 6 minutes in, puts in the tap in. That's his 3rd goal of the season. I think that's his 2nd goal of MLS season, 3rd overall. Yeah, I think it is. Hold on. 2 goals in MLS, 1 in the Can Champ, 3 all comps in 16. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 matches. 14. It is 14. 3 and 14. Man, he's good. 9th minute. Man, he's good. The possession's evening out a bit. That's out for a corner for Toronto. I know, Sean. Yes, and I loved it. Sean Longstaff, his brother. If we get another goal before the half, we'll win this game. This is the most positive I've ever seen you. 9th minute, shot, header. Oh, it almost happened. Prince. It's honestly the most positive I've ever seen you. Actually, I'll drink to that. Yeah, I'll drink to that. But yeah, they're playing well tonight. I see it too. They're playing very well tonight. They should be. It's a derby. I'm not saying I want another wooden spoon, but let me say this. If we win every game we play in a year against Montreal but not win anything else, I'm okay with it. To a certain extent. Let me be honest. Not completely, but to a certain extent. Playing forward. Oh, wide. That'll be a corner for Montreal. Congrats to Chelsea for winning the Women's Super League. Sad it wasn't Man City, but at least Emma Hayes won a trophy before leaving the club. Now it's the U.S. Women's National Team next chapter. I mean, I'm happy for Chelsea. They deserve that title. They worked their butts off for it. They found a way to get there. Good win. Bryce Duke, cross. Puts it a little bit back. Over the top. Chouanier. Insigne almost gets it off of Chouanier. That'll be a corner. Fair enough. Instead of Cody Crybabies, it's Boston Crybabies because they're still whining over Sam Bennett. I can't complain because, honestly, Toronto fans are crying over Radko Gudas last year. So, I can't complain. I'd be a hypocrite if I did. I mean, hell, I was crying about the Radko Gudas stuff. That goes out for a goal kick for Sean Johnson. 11 minutes. Got to love to see Americanistas crying, saying America got robbed against Chivas when they shouldn't even be here because the referee didn't show them 2 red cards against Pachuca. Of course they do. Now, I saw a meme earlier today that was Obama with a Televisa logo over his face, putting the medal over an Obama with the America logo on his face. And like somebody said, I have a theory too. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It was on Liga MX's Reddit, but it was in the comments. TFC goal 2-0. Holy Lord, my God. I'm not complaining, though. Jesus Christ. They're back, baby. Davy Flores. Federico Bernardeschi. Bernardeschi shot. Goal. Oh, my God. Golazo. Goal. Toronto. Goal. Federico Bernardeschi. Short-sided top bins. Jesus H. Christ. Toronto's running riot. Woo-hoo! Federico Bernardeschi. 2-0. 12 minutes. 6 minutes later, the cornrows do the job for Fetty. Oh! All right. They don't want to lose to Montreal again. I can tell you that much. This is the type of derby I want to see. This is the type of derby I want to see. Bury them. Bury them. Bury the scum. Tic-tac, Dabanak. Who the fuck's the Impact? 2-0 Toronto. Tic-tac, Dabanak. Who the fuck's the Impact? Or, actually, Tic-tac, Dabanak. Where the fuck's the Impact? Because they changed their name. Short side, top bins. Put it over the arms of Sawa. He couldn't even reach it. That was a rocket to the short side. I mean, to the near post. What? Like, it was in the box, but it was a golazo. You don't see that much. But, of course, a guy like him, yes. And you better hope so, because you'll get a 9:30 a.m. stream from me on next Saturday if they win the Europa League final. Oh! Davy Flores tried to go for one to make it 3. Oh, yeah, we're winning this game. There's a hole in Quebec that they call Montreal. Go to hell, Montreal, go to hell. I'm not worried about playing them in the Canadian Championship anymore. I ain't worried about that. That's my point. I said if they win the Europa League final, I said I would do the DFB Pokal next Saturday at 9:30 for the history portion of it. Bernadeschi's going to score again. I hope so. You look like an average Bundesliga midfielder. I thought that was jinxy. I don't look like anybody in the Bundesliga. Besides, I'm 5'6". Why would I be a midfielder? I'd be on the wing. Well, I could be a cam. Fair enough, but I do have German blood too. Maybe you have a point. But isn't Jinxie the one who looks like an average Bundesliga midfielder? He looks like Kimmich. Okay, Kimmich is better than average, but still. He's better than average, but still. I thought you said average by the fact you look like a guy who plays in the Bundesliga, not the level of their play. If we're going by level of play, yeah, no, Jinxie doesn't because he looks like Kimmich, and Kimmich, well, he's better than average. Even when he's washed, he's probably better than average. They did not. Andrich, you be the ball boy. Penalty saved Union Berlin from going down to the second division to get relegated. Bradley should manage Montreal so Toronto could keep beating up on them. Or we could just play Stabæk in the preseason. I'd love to see that. And if I was the manager, we'd be beating them 5 or 6-0 in the preseason because I would not forgive. I've not forgiven and never will forgive Bob Bradley for making this team into a vegetable. I'm surprised they're actually good again. John Herman had to do a lot of work to make this team good. And the fact they're overachieving, yeah. Header by Rosted. After they were just a vegetable about 6 months ago because of Bob Bradley and Terry Dunfield, yeah. They were, yeah. Well, I mean, this game's pretty much over anyway, so. Yes. 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 I think the Panthers are going to go to the Stanley Cup, and honestly, they might just be the favorites to win the whole thing. Especially now that Edmonton looks like they're about to go out. I like Dallas, but I still think Florida could do Dallas better. Pretty much does what Dallas does, but in the East, which is a better conference anyway. I think the Panthers could easily win the Stanley Cup. Relatively easily, I should say. Damn. Now that's not even possible. That doesn't surprise me. He ain't great. We can only keep getting better every transfer window that passes. I'm feeling slightly optimistic. Colorado was screwed over by Bettman. I mean, yeah, the goalie interference, yeah, they got screwed, but they'd still have to play a game 7. So, a woo-zoo over the bar. One more goal and this game is over. Like, when you say that, do you mean like long-distance relationships that are based off of the internet, or are you saying like just e-dating? Like I'm not opposed to long-distance relationships. I'm not opposed to it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not opposed to long-distance relationships that are born out of the internet, but like there's true relationships and then there's, I guess, the cringe that is e-dating. There's a difference, I guess. I don't know. Plays forward. Holy crap. Prince of Wuzu pressing. Coelho pressing. Insigne to Prince. It goes in. 3-0 Toronto. Within 20 minutes. Prince of Wuzu presses. Leads to him getting the goal. A tap in for Prince of Wuzu and it bundles over the line. Within 20 minutes, it's 3-0. Wow. 19 minutes, 3-0. Oh my God, they're going to whip their ass. This is going to end 5-0. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. There's a hole in Quebec that they call Montreal. Go to hell, Montreal. Go to hell. say Simcoe and Saint Laurent's a bit better, but this is good. There's fire. When these boys are on, it's much more than fire. Man, I'm loving it. Yeah, they're smoking that Toronto pack. I wish I had a Cubano on me. I might actually smoke one after this. I know it's the 14th match of the season, but after this, I mean, I'm not a smoker, but I'll smoke a Cubano after this. I'm gonna smoke that. I would smoke that Montreal pack after tonight. Jeez. If I had any connections, I'd ask for a Cubano, but or just well, or a good blunt. Either way. 20th minute. At this point, just hand us the title. I saw they were all over them like within the first 3 minutes. I just didn't expect it to be 3-0 Toronto. Montreal, as of now, with this result, is table. They are still 13th. They're still 2 points above the Chicago Fire. So Chicago must be really horrible. Toronto is back in 5th with this result. Could be 4th depending on what happens. Well, actually, the Red Bulls are losing. So, no, they would only be in 5th. Under 5.5. I'd still bet the under 5.5. Let's be honest. I'd still do that. I know there's 70 minutes to go, but I'd still bet the under 5.5. There's no way this gets to 6 goals, right? I mean, the spout's got to close at some point, right? This can't get to 6 goals. I'd rather it be 6-0 Toronto than 3-3, but probably more likely it'd be 3-3. Do not step off the gas, Toronto. Do not step off the gas. But Toronto is a point down from the Red Bulls and NYCFC. Now, if NYCFC loses, we would be 4th. So you want the Red Bulls to turn it around. Also, thank Nashville for doing that as well, because you know what's embarrassing? Losing to a team, and then they fire their manager the next day after they win the match against you. It's funny that happened twice in 6 months to my teams. Mississippi State loses to Texas A&M. Jimbo still gets fired the next day. I don't know how. I love Toronto. And then 6 months later, Nashville beats Toronto, a very depleted Toronto at that, and then they fire Gary Smith the next day. That's embarrassing. And it's even more embarrassing for TFC because they're actually good this year. Mississippi State, besides beating Archie, couldn't beat anybody but a non-SEC team. So they beat Southern. They beat Southeastern Louisiana. They beat Bowling Green. They beat Arizona. They had 5 wins. They beat Archie. That's it. That sucks. They shadow banned you for doing too many YouTube shorts. Hey, I got you. Hey, while I'm at it, make sure mod. We'll do that. Okay, you're good. I got you a wrench for that account too. There you go. Flores, Bernadeschi, Insigne. 23rd minute. Game's only on Apple TV. But yeah, Montreal's 13th, still with 12. Under probably. 23rd minute. I would say under probably. Boom. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get this one going. Super chats are on. Let's party, baby, because today's a party. Today's a party. Insigne. Plays it forward. Oh, Spicer! Woo-hoo! Throw some spice on it, baby! Yeah! What a play to keep that going forward. Lord! Man, Tyrese Spicer is so good. Man, that was a great first pick. Out of nowhere, they reach for a guy, and he's the actual. He plays like a first round, a number 1 pick. man, Toronto's so good at the super draft. If there's something they're good at, it's the super draft. They reach for a dude, and he ends up playing like the first overall pick. And there was no locked-on first overall pick, but they sort of reached for him, but it still worked out. Jeez, Tyrese Spicer is so good. Man. He's already got an assist, put the ball forward. Honestly, that might actually be the best player we've drafted ever, and we are actually good at the super draft. And Tyrese Spicer might just be the best player we've ever drafted. Him or Moadu. I like Tsubasa Endo, but I don't think he had his moments, but he also, when he didn't have his moments, he didn't have his moments. Kyle Becker, that did not turn out well. He's doing good for Forge, but he did not turn out well as a Toronto draft pick. Shot Insigne! Oh, wide. No. Well, honestly, it'd be a party in Lakeshore, but good point. 1-0 over St. Louis for Cincinnati. Damn it. St. Louis playing in Cincinnati, or are they playing in... Well, if they're playing right now, they must be playing in Cincinnati. Acosta penalty. Oh, well, it's not as bad as I would have thought. I love that there's not let up full pedal to the metal. Well, wait till 45 minutes. I'm sure they'll keep on going till the half, and then they'll pull off around the 45th minute. This reminds me of like the Charlotte game back in 2022, and you know exactly which game I'm talking about. The debuts of Bernadeschi and Insigne. This reminds me of that. This is the type of performance I want to see. This is awesome. Ooh. I want it to be the Canucks or Oilers. I want it to be the Canadian team. It's going to be the Stars, though. I mean, the Stars are just the better hockey team. They're the better all-around hockey team. I want it to be the Canucks or Oilers. I think the Oilers actually have a better chance against the Stars if they were to somehow beat the Canucks. But I think the Stars are better all around. I think we're very likely to get a Stars versus Panthers Stanley Cup final. I think that's very likely. Now, do I think the Panthers would win that final? Yes, I think the Panthers are more physical. I think the Panthers are better at being physical than the Stars. Oilers would not have a chance to beat the Panthers or Rangers. As long as they're in the Stanley Cup final, I'd rather a Canadian team win the Stanley Cup. Like, honestly, I don't know why I'm saying this. Not the Leafs are out, but the fact that I'm still saying it must mean something. Vancouver's had a really good season. The Oilers have had a really good season. I want to see a Canadian team win the Stanley Cup for the first time since '93, and funnily enough, the Leafs have no chance to do it, and I'm still saying it. So, trust me, I haven't said that over the past... I have not said that until this year. Like, when Montreal made the final, I wanted Tampa to win. And I don't even hate the Habs like I do the Impact. Like, I don't really have a problem with the Habs, but I was still a little bit pissed off about the series. But 3-1 halftime, 4-1 full time, I think. I don't think so. Like, I'd give the Canucks and Oilers a better chance to beat the Stars than both of them than the Rangers beating the Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to do to the Rangers what they did to the Bruins. I think the Rangers are more skilled in toughness. They are tough. There are some tough players on that team. Rempe, of course. But I think they're more tough. They're more skilled in toughness. They do have a goon, but that's an 18-year-old goon at that. But, you know, which is wild. Insigne shot saved by Sawa. Not, well, if it's a semifinal, yes. This Toronto team would beat Monterey. Why are New England so low? Or are they bad? They're horrible. They are horrible this year, New England. Like, this is the worst Caleb Porter season I think I've ever seen. And I know he's not great, but I'm surprised he ain't fired yet. I mean, Toronto did it to Armas, and we're about the same amount of time through the season that Armas got fired. And he had just as bad of a season at that point. Bernadeschi corner. Honestly, I think you got to pull the trigger if you're New England. You got to fire him. You got to fire Porter. You have to. Corner for Toronto in the 30th minute. Takes it short. Nixon. Coelho. Plays it up to Bernadeschi. Cross in. Header. Oh! Wide. Rosted with a header, but wide. Shesterkin will shut down the Panthers. No, Bobrovsky's better than Shesterkin. What? No. Bobrovsky is better than Shesterkin. Yes, I think both goalies, it's going to be a war between both goalies, but I think Shesterkin gets beat more than Bob. That's the wrong LA logo for Gabriel Peck. Yeah, that's going up on No Context MLS soon. I don't know if I should celebrate or not because I'm a United fan. Had to watch that game against Coventry. What's your point? Toronto's not going to let Montreal back into this game like United let Coventry back, if that's your worry. United sucks. Canucks finishing tonight. We'll find out. I think Graham's a United fan, too. I think he is. You want to complain about him? I don't blame you. But hey, if Bayern steals Ten Hag, you might have just lucked out. I'm not going to lie. Bernadeschi. That's out. Hey, if Bayern goes and steals Ten Hag, maybe you just lucked out. I don't know, because I don't hate United. Honestly, feel sorry for them. I didn't even hate them when they were good. Honestly. Now, I hate City, but Calgary winning at halftime. Forge lost to Vancouver. Damn. ESPN FC. Oh, I don't watch them. Like, ever since Paul Mariner died, I don't watch ESPN FC. I'd rather watch Football Americas. Insigne. Partly because I think most of the people on ESPN FC are... Okay, that'll just be mean. I like Shaka Hislop. I do. Craig Burley's okay, but I think ESPN FC are a bunch of hot take artists. I thought Paul Mariner had the best analysis on that show, and Hercules Gomez whenever he was on there, but I barely care about European football anyway like I do CONCACAF, so of course I spend more time watching Football Americas. But one of the guys that were the best on there died. The other focused more on Football Americas and Ahora o Nunca, so why should I watch it now? And William Laurens, I mean, I swear to God, I can't stand him. Now, I can't stand him. Julien Laurens legitimately is trying to be the French Fabrizio, but he has no sources. If you want to talk about hot take artists, shot. Like, here's the thing about hot take artists. I have no problem with Football Picante because that's what I expect out of them. Like, I expect them to troll. But out of a show like ESPN FC who tries to be fair, seem like they're higher than that, they troll a lot. And they hot take a lot. Easy answer, Roy Halladay. And everything else fell into place. That's the quick answer. Roy Halladay and everything else fell into place. That's the easy answer. 34th minute. I don't think ESPN FC is that funny. The problem is they have that English dry. Like, I mean, I have no problem with dry wit, but they are legitimately boring. Like, if you're going to do hot takes, you better be funny sometimes. Whether that's intentionally or not. Like, they got that, like, British dry wit, but they're not even funny. They're like a unfunny version of the Top Gear guy. Yeah, we'll go with it. You know which one I'm talking about. Oh, no. That Top Gear guy. I don't think that's Hammond. I think the skinny one's Hammond, yeah. 35th minute. Will Chelsea make 6th place tomorrow? I think so. I think so. I think they will make European football. Richie should be back within the month. It sounds like once he plays out his suspension or serves out his suspension, he will be back as a sub the next game. Vilsant shot side netting. And he should be a starter by the end of the month. Makes you wonder, maybe he will be at Copa. Happy to see TFC is kicking CF Montreal's butt. I love it. I'd rather them make the Conference League, if I'm being totally honest. I've seen them win the Europa League twice. It'll be harder for them to win the Europa League if they make the Europa League. If they make the conference, they are the hands-on favorites. With the squad that they have, they will win the Conference League. I want them to win the trophy they don't have. I'd rather them drop to the conference. But also, making 6 means if United wins the FA Cup, we do go to the Conference League. So, Bernadeschi playing forward. They've sort of calmed down since the 3rd goal. TFC still has the most of the bulk of the play. Gomes. But they basically calmed down since the 3rd goal. Montreal's basically thrown in the towel. I'm sure there'll be another goal, but it wouldn't surprise me if 4 is where it ends. It looked like we were going to get to 6 pretty quickly. Now it looks about like 4. Damn. If only Larea and Osorio were playing, it'd be much better. Yeah, then it would be 6. One's hurt, one's suspended, and hurt. But his injury will be over by the end of the suspension, so I guess it was okay timing. Insigne, Longstaff making the run. Longstaff crosses to Owusu. Shot and over the bar by Petretta, but I think he was offside anyway. I would if I was the manager. We'd still be running them ragged, but Herdman, I guess, no. Okay. Araujo back. Longstaff almost got an assist, a back heel from Prince, but I think Petretta was offside anyway. When's your next game? Tomorrow at 7. Cruz Azul versus CF Monterrey live in RSR for the 2nd leg of the semifinal. I wouldn't cover the first leg, and now I cover the second. You know, that's why I do Thursday, Sundays. In a situation like that, I think the final should be Thursday, Sunday, so that's good. Vilsant. Waterman. Monterey, they're going to do it. No, they won't. They have to win by 2. I don't think it's going to happen. Longstaff. Davy Flores. Over the top to Bernadeschi. Bernadeschi doesn't get there first. Waterman to clear. Playing forward. Vilsant. Lassiter. Shot save. Timbers are weird. They're one of the MLS teams that scored the most, but their defense, isn't that just normal MLS? Like, you're acting like that's weird. Like, over the history of MLS, yeah, you may have a really good offense, but your defense is probably going to be... It's hard to have both a great defense and a great offense. I mean, of course, yeah, TFC in 2017, but, you know, yeah, Miami. See, exactly. And that's only if Messi's playing. Portland's doing it without Messi. I think that's better. Hear about Louisville City hosting the Women's Cup. the opponents are going to participate. Team you hate, Juventus, Palmeiras, women's team. I didn't hear about that. But that's interesting. Juve Merda. Does Julia Grosso still play there? I feel like she left Juve. Stanolin's on the bench. Yeah, they're playing some. They've given some short-term deals to some of the players. Bernadeschi playing forward. There we go. Playing forward. Montreal. I know. Philadelphia goal. Not surprising. Finally, they got it. But yeah, Stanolind on the bench. I think that is interesting, but they are giving the TFC2 kids some chances. I feel like Charlie Sharp got screwed over on Wednesday, though. But they did say once he gets more, has a run of games without an injury, he will be up with TFC1. I mean, he's a good goal scorer. I think he deserves it, but we still do have a Wusu. But looks like they're going to save the backup from within. Ivacic out to draw on that play. Well, I'm not surprised. If only they still had a great goalkeeper. But they sold one to Nottingham, well, Arsenal, then Nottingham Forest. And then they sold one to Chelsea. And Ivacic and Ravas are not as good as Turner and Petrovic. Lasseter, Cross. The Dolphins get Jonathan Allen. Will the defense be unstoppable? I know nothing about him. So he doesn't sound, I don't think I've heard his name being talked about as a game breaker. So I don't know. Probably wouldn't be good for the Patriots. $42nd minute. How long do you think it'll take the Patriots to make another Super Bowl? I don't know. Let me see Drake May play. I'm going to say about 10 years. Within 10 years, they'll make another Super Bowl. I'd say within 10 years. Probably later, closer to like 7 to 10. But if they do it before, great. I mean, Drew Bledsoe took him to a Super Bowl. Tony Eason took him to a Super Bowl. I mean, it's not like Tom Brady's the only guy to do it. I think Drake May is better than Tony Eason. He's probably not better than Drew Bledsoe. He's better than Tony Eason, though. 42nd minute. I have to think TFC is still actively looking at the transfer market, ready to be ready for the opening of the summer window, which is refreshing from Bob's do-nothing approach. I agree. I think John Herdman is cooking. I'm not saying he's tampering, but I'm sure he has an idea where he wants to go, which that's what you should have. Like, in my mind, like if I was the manager, in my mind, I got 10 pages of players that I've watched play that I would think would do well with TFC. Just in my head. I don't even have it on a freaking Microsoft Word document. I mean, at some point in my life, I think every team will have at least one Super Bowl. Probably take the Browns and Jaguars the longest, but I think they'll get one at some point. 43rd minute, Bernadeschi playing forward to Owuzu. Guardado was doing better in La Liga than he is with Leon. Yeah, Guardado seems like the type of guy, the better the competition he plays, the better he plays. Doesn't surprise me. Longstaff plays it up to Owuzu all alone, which that wasn't smart, but okay, Longstaff. Oh, foul. That's got to be a free kick for Toronto at the top of the box. Nope. No, it isn't. Goal kick. I thought I saw the whistle go on the ref's mouth, so I'm surprised that wasn't a free kick. 44th minute. Rafa Marquez will coach Barcelona if Xavi leaves. Doesn't surprise me. Nobody wants to go to Bayern and nobody wants to go to Barca. Throw in for Toronto. Similar situations, too. Except Javi ends up leaving because he basically called out the problem. Interesting. 44th minute. Weird. 1 minute to go before stoppage time. If the Bruins and Rangers were playing, do you think it'll be a close series? Yes. Rangers will probably end up winning, but I think it'll be a close series, 6 or 7. 45th minute. Piet. The Javi situation is weird. He said he'd stay. Then he said he's leaving. He stays. He stays. Now he says he leaves. Yeah, it is weird. But I love seeing Barcelona be in chaos, so I'm not complaining. Playing forward. 45th minute. 2 minutes of stoppage time. We go to the 47th. 47 minutes. Seeing a slap fall back. Let's hope it's changed at the beginning of the second half. I kind of saw that coming. I was like, yeah, I mean, you're going to pull off the gas a little bit. I still think they'll get a 4th goal. I can see Montreal scoring 1-2, but Montreal plays Nashville on the 25th as their next match. I'm going to be a little bit pissed if they win after this. So I hope Nashville gets it done, or at least draws. Coelho gives it away. Sanusi Ibrahim. Insigne's in a box. In the wrong box. The defending 18-yard box. If he's there, it's probably gone wrong. A free kick for Montreal? I'm not saying it's the wrong box, as in you may have to be there as offensive player. If you're there, something's gone wrong. 47th minute. 25 seconds. I could see him going back to Saprissa, or going to San Diego, or going to Mexico, somewhere in CONCACAF. I mean, he did come up at Saprissa. I could see him going back to Saprissa at the end of his career. Whether that's after he goes to San Diego or not, I don't know. But I think it's not far until he goes back to Saprissa for a couple of years. That would be wild to see Keylor Navas in the Central American Cup. Nah, think about it. Free kick. Shot. Wide. And that should be the end of the half, and it is. 3-0 at halftime. $3-0 Toronto at halftime. If we lose it, I'm going to lose my mind. If we win, I'm going to be like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. Could have won by more, but we still won. It depends. It's like, are you kidding me? That's how we lose? 1-0 Oilers. Told you they'd probably win Game 6. With that being said, we'll take a short break at the half, talk about the stats, get this one going. It is 3-0 Toronto. The situation you want it to be in a 401 derby. You love to see it. 3-0. I did not expect this, but Jesus Christ, this is awesome. This is awesome. With that being said, sit tight, I'll be back. Talk about the stats. All good. 3-0. Stats at the half. How we doing, Red Bull Insider? 1-1. Damn. Stats at the half. 53% possession and force, 47%. I normally don't talk about expected goals, but I will now. 2.33 expected goals to 0.58. Toronto's overachieving their expected goals. Montreal is right in line with it, really. If you ain't like over like 0.70, then I won't tell you that you're underperforming it. 13 shots to 6. 6 shots on goal to 3. 259 accurate passes, 87%, 221, 84%, 5 fouls to 1, 4 corners to 2, 13 shots to 6, 6 shots on goal to 3, 298 passes to 263, 87% pass accuracy to 84. Throws, 6 throws to 5, 1 offside to 0, 0 yellow cards to 0, 0 red cards to 0. 3-0 at the half. Toronto is 4th in the East. With this win, if New York ends up drawing, we will be back in 4th in the East. If they lose, we'll be back in 4th in the East with 2 points clear. Take that, New York. Take that, New York City. 2 points down from Red Bull. 7 points down from Miami. 8 points down from Cincinnati, but still, top 4 ain't bad. With that being said, Toronto is all over, absolutely all over Montreal. This is the exact game you want them to play in a derby. You want them to play like this. They are all over them like white on rice. Exactly what you need out of this from Toronto. This is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Montreal still 13th. They play tonight, 7:30 Chicago. So if they win, Montreal will be 14th. They're not going to lose to Columbus, though, or even draw. So Montreal will still be 13th. But with that being said, Toronto's playing the game they need to play. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. 3-0. Cruising. I mean, they've absolutely dominated Montreal, but they're cruising. They're winning as they deserve to. Montreal haven't really had a peep out of them, especially after they've allowed 3 in the first 20 minutes. They had a chance there late on the free kick, but they've really sort of given up. Let's also remember that Montreal plays Forge in the midweek as well. They play Forge next after this. They play them on the 22nd at 6:30. I might go live for that as well. Because if the Europa League finals 1 o'clock, about 4 o'clock, I might go, I might go live for Forge versus Montreal. After this, I may. Either Forge are going to get curb stomped at Stade Saputo, or Forge are somehow going to win. Somebody super chats me, I'll certainly do it. I'll do a double day if somebody sends a super chat. Double lives, double RSRs. I mean, make it worth my while. I might consider doing it anyway, even if I don't get paid. But if I do, confirm it. With that being said, Toronto's doing exactly what they need to do tonight. It's a great match. Hopefully they put their foot back on the gas pedal a little bit, because they pulled off a little bit after goal 3, especially the last 15 minutes. I'm happy with the game so far. I'm very happy with it. Now, if we end up drawing, if Toronto ends up drawing, they deserve to draw or lose, but I don't think that'll happen. We got 45 minutes. We'll see how it does. Fernando Ortiz equals Harry Kane equals no trophy. Oh, I'd love to see that. That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Second half about to start. Exactly, but they did. So who's to say they play them if they didn't bottle the first place? They might be playing Chivas right now. America might be playing Cruz Azul right now. Who knows? Cruz Azul found their way up to being better. Lorenzo Insigne's heat map, 3.6 miles covered, 45 minutes played. Man, he's on fire today. I mean, everybody's on fire today. This is the performance you want to see. But they would win by 1 goal and pass. They didn't bottle first place. Nobody's. Sosa about to come on for Montreal. Two Montreal subs, Yankov and Sosa on. Yankov on for Bryce Duke. And Sosa is on as well. No Toronto subs, which they shouldn't, because that would be stupid. Like, that would be stupid to pull that. I know they got Saint Laurent on Tuesday, but that'd be stupid to pull subs at this point. Longstaff Owusu kickoff. They're already up 3-0 in that game. It's not like they have to worry. I'm sure they'll win a couple by a couple at home on aggregate, and then go on to the semifinals. There you go. With that being said, we're off in the second half. Toronto kicks off. 45 more minutes to being 2. Alvarez off for Sosa. 45 minutes away from being 2 out of 3 away from owning Quebec overall. Because let's remember, Saint Laurent's in Quebec. We beat them 2 weeks ago. We're beating Montreal. We have to play Saint Laurent again. Quebec is red if Toronto ends up winning these next 2. You could say, but what about the second game they play against Montreal and the Canadian Championship? I'm just saying. We'll deal with that when we deal with that. They're going to ignore Henry Martin running over Guti without receiving a yellow card. Yeah, he should have got a yellow card. I agree. Playing forward. Coelho, ooh. He could have easily got to that, but okay. 46 minute. Insigne gets pushed off the ball by Campbell. That's out for a throw. Spicer. Tyrese Spicer. Playing forward. Or playing back. Sean Johnson plays it forward. Goes all the way to Sawa. Sawa kicks it away. Insigne. Petretta. Imagine Dries Mertens in Toronto. I heard rumblings of that, like in 2022, that we wanted to get Dries Mertens. You know what? I mean, Bernadeschi's great, but I was really hoping it would be Dries Mertens at that time. I'm not mad about the Bernadeschi thing, but Dries Mertens probably would be better. I mean, see what he does with freaking Tyrese Spicer. Jesus Christ. TFC has a 98% chance of winning this match. Like a 1% chance of drawing. Shot! Oh, that's going to go out for a goal kick. See, it is 0-0 being a new half game. Let's see how I perform this half. Feels like a freaking arena soccer rule, but okay. A futsal rule, but okay. It's out for a goal kick. Puts it across the line. Sanusi, and it rolls out. Toronto was dead to rights, and luckily it didn't go in. 48th minute. That's out for a throw. How we doing, Isaiah? Insigne and Mertens would cook together in MLS. Yeah, I think so. I mean, they did at Napoli. Of course they would in MLS. Of course they would. If there was no DP slots, I say we should do that. Get Mertens as well. If you could just get anybody you wanted in MLS, yeah, no, we go for them too. But that's not the case. Thoughts on the Pride kits? I think they look awesome. Those kits are amazing. I like the white, gold, black, the way they put the colors together. They're nice. I have half a mind to buy a TFC one. I love it. I love the light bright kits that one year, but I think these might be the best. Montreal going to score one. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I said both teams to score. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But they saved all their really good design for the Pride kits. Like the Parley kits were horrible this year, and they weren't even worn in game. I think Toronto had one of the better ones. I think they were better with the blue. I think the tan, peach, and red would not have fit. I think the green wouldn't look good for them. Feel confident in the Raiders. I believe in Antonio Pierce, what he's doing with his Raiders team after McDaniels was fired. I agree. I think they'll be good. Hmm. 51st minute. Toronto, seems like it's a pretty even half so far. Toronto's had their moments. Montreal's had their moments. It's been a very even half. It seems like if Toronto gets a chance, they'll take it this half, but they're not trying to force it, which, I mean, I guess makes sense. Europeans would be scared if MLS were allowed to buy anybody they wanted. Yeah, I agree. Because some of the teams like Toronto and LAFC, they would have a team that could freaking compete against the best in the world if they could buy whoever they wanted and you had the right guy at the helm. Like, trust me, Toronto, I'm not saying they'd be the best team in the world, but they'd be in the argument. If you could buy anybody you wanted, they'd be in the argument. I think this team has the potential to be one of the best in the world. I do. The fan base and the city deserve it. If the rules in MLS were no cap, this team legitimately could be one of the best teams in the world and be in the argument for best team in the world. Of course, that's to all come together on the pitch, but if you have the right guy leading it, I mean, you kind of saw that potential when Vanny was there, the treble year, the CCL year, that era, you saw the potential for it. It's not like I'm crazy to say that this team could be, Toronto FC could end up being one of the best teams in the world if they could just buy whoever they wanted. Again, you'd have to have the right guy in place to put that together, and then the results would have to come together. But they're not afraid to spend money, and I think There are people in that organization that know football well enough for who to go for. It's not like Bezbachenko's still there, but Herdman I trust. I trust Jason Hernandez. It's there. Yeah, I would not be happy if they both played at Galatasaray. No. I don't think that'll happen now that we're good. But I wish MLS could just remove the salary cap. Like, removing the salary cap could grow MLS a bit. We wouldn't be losing to Mexican teams. Like, every MLS team would be doing what Columbus is doing. Exactly. Or at least the ones who want to spend money. At least the ones who like to spend money. Well, there you go. 54th minute. But I agree with that. And that's a free kick for Montreal. Coelho gives away the free kick. Not happy with the play. Chouanier. It's getting a bit scrappy, but what'd you expect? It's a 4-1 derby. Even if we're winning 3-0, it's still going to get chippy. Petretta. Oh, yeah, the trailing leg is why it's a free kick. Yep, that's bad, Coelho. Come on, man. You can't leave out your trailing leg like that. You just can't do that. I get why. The trailing leg stood out a bit too long. I think there was a little bit of a dive to earn it, but I think you can't leave your trailing leg out like that. You just can't lunge it out and hold it there. Lassiter, shot, blocked, and a tackle past the post. What a defensive play to keep it a clean sheet by Toronto. Montreal tried to hook and crook their way to a goal. Toronto defended it away. Lovely. Corner. Lassiter keeps it low, gets through. Couple of good tackles by TFC. Cross in. Sean Johnson punches away. Picked up by Juan. Campbell on it. Cleared out for another corner. Montreal's putting some attacking in there. 56th minute. Cross in, cleared. Bernadeschi clears it. Owusu gets out. 2. Free kick for Toronto. Yeah, Chapman's calling a lot of fouls, though. I have to agree. Chapman, I don't like the way he's calling this game in general. It's a derby. Let them play. That's my opinion. Like, I'm not going to complain unless something's egregious. Like, if it's... Like, let me tell you, I'm not going to complain unless the foul's egregious and it's not given. But let them play. Like, let them play. I don't understand why. It's going to be like, let them play. Let them play. 57th minute. Oh, Rosted. Let's go. Rosted pops it up. Davy Flores. Coelho. Oh, spins. Spinneroonies all around. Insigne. Plays back to Coelho. 4-0 TFC. Well, there it is. Cross in. Owusu header. and it clips it in. Owusu scores his second of the game. Nods in the header, and it's 4-0. It might just be Bernadeschi's second of the game, though. I'm not totally sure. Bernadeschi with a cross, he might have scored it by himself. Bernadeschi might have just scored it by himself. I need to see this. Coelho switches the play. Bernadeschi crosses it, and it ends up going into the net. Not touched by Owusu. It is a Bernadeschi goal, a second of the game. Either way, it's a second of the game, but it's Federico Bernadeschi. I thought the first one was awesome. That was even better. He meant to cross it, still went in. Bounce, boom. Sawa, I don't know what the hell he was doing. I don't know what he was doing, but okay. '58th minute, 4-0 for Toronto. I told you I had a good feeling. I did too after the third minute with the way they were playing. They were on them like water on rice. They're pulling Insigne for Franklin. Etienne Jr.'s on as well. I guess we're saving people for Saint Laurent. Okay. Coelho for Franklin. Insigne for Etienne. You were right. Damn near was Owusu's goal, but you're right. Here comes Etienne Jr. Could he score his first in red? Etienne Jr. Etienne Jr. lays it off. Bernadeschi hat-trick! It's 5 for Toronto! Bernadeschi with the hattie! Let's go! Bernadeschi with the hattie. Etienne with the assist. Bernadeschi raffles it in from close range. Hattie! Woo! That's insane. Federico Bernadeschi. Etienne with the assist. Plays it on. Rolls through the legs, and Bernadeschi just wallops it into the top bins. There's a batteration Toronto's game in Montreal. Yeah. Toronto FC playing EAFC 24 in real life. No, they'd get scored on. They'd only win 1-0. Scripting's horrible in that game. 60th minute. 5-0. Game over. Let's watch the rest. Oh, come on, Etienne. I can't even pick up my hat. There's so much energy. Header. Oh, what a save, Sawa. I mean, he's already at a minus 4.8, but he's at a 4.8. But hey, good save. 61st minute, and the smoke is filling the stadium. I love it. This is like the good old days. This is the good old days. But yeah, the scripting in the AFC is 24 is so bad. You could not. Now, if you're playing single player, yeah, you'll win 5-0. Huh? I know, I've done it before. A lot. It's a TFC I can get behind. Boy, is this great. I agree. Man, I love it. Oh, save. Toronto FC 7-0 incoming. Man, I would love it if we got a 7-0. This is freaking amazing. I love it. This is the game I wanted. This is freaking ecstasy. Ecstatic ecstasy. This is ecstasy. Yeah. playing forward. Cozy Thompson, DeAndre Kerr. 2 goals in the second half. They're winning the second half 2-0. Ay, man. Maybe you should have bet the over. Maybe I should have went to frickin' the sports book and bet the over. Jesus. We don't want to do too horrible to Montreal, or we'd be responsible for helping 2 coaches get fired this year. Well, at least this time we won. So they're going to take off Longstaff for Cozy Thompson and a Wuzu for Kerr. Yeah, this does definitely remind me of the Charlotte game. Except their best players stayed on for longer than 45 minutes. Goleada. This is exactly what you want. 1 substitute remaining. 1 more window. Goleada Toronto. I don't think this is a long time coming. This has been a long time coming. Goleada. I love it. Man, this feels good. It's good. Over the top. Bernadeschi's still on though. And Tyrese Spicer is. We might still have some attacking flair. I think I did keep Bernadeschi in there for this game, didn't I? Spicer. How we doing, Josue? Welcome back. It's been a while. What was the highest score TFC ever had? Is it within reach to beat? John Herdman said he wanted 7-0 against Simcoe. So that would have been the record, is 7-0. Turns out it may just happen against a Canadian team. It just wasn't the one he thought. They wanted it to be 7-0 against Simcoe to beat the record, which was 6. So, turns out, may just happen anyway, just not against the team he thought it would. Hell, even Saint Laurent might have a chance. They might, if they don't do it tonight, they're going to try on Tuesday. The fact they're pulling out their best players before the 70th minute, yeah, I think they're going to try on Tuesday if they don't get it here. You score 5 against Montreal, you should at least score 8 at home against Saint Laurent. Easy. Right? And make that, 9, 10, 11 nil on aggregate? Thoughts on Vic's already putting the final as Cruz Azul versus America. Does that mean the refs will favor America and Cruz Azul? Honestly, yes, probably. I don't like it. I think Chivas can win tonight. I think Cruz Azul, yeah, they're through. But I don't like the part that's like America. Oh, but let's not forget, Vic's is home by Televisa. Let's not forget about that. Of course they're going to put their boys through. Since technically the seeding rules say they would go through if they hold a 0-0 tonight. So, as well. Oh. You know, the results would still put them through. So, I guess they're in the catbird seat, but it's a little bit fishy when Televisa says, yeah, we got America going to the final after one half of it's being played, when they could easily lose it. I mean, they normally don't play well at home against Chivas, so, you know. But then again, it's like the Pachuca tie. It's like, hey, they do enough just to get through on seeding, thanks to the refs. The refs don't red card like the players that deserve to get red carded, the 2 red cards they deserve. Here's a chance. Sanusi, goal! Sanusi Ibrahim scores for Montreal. There's their goal, 5-1. Well, there's your both teams to score. Didn't I say that was going to happen? Sanusi Ibrahim, all alone, horrible defensive lapse, leads to a Montreal goal. I won't complain about it, though. Well, maybe I will a little bit, but of course Sigurd Ralstad's part of that defensive lapse. Jesus Christ. Campbell plays it in. Sanusi Ibrahim parts the Red Sea, and Ralstad can't get there, of course. That doesn't surprise me. 68th minute. Sigurd Ralstad's part of it. That doesn't surprise me. 5-1. So there's your both teams to score. If anybody had that, and I'm sure that probably gave you the over too. Maybe I should have bet that. 68th minute. 5-1. I'm not going to complain. I'll take a 5-1 win any day of the week and twice on Sundays. So it'd have to be 8-1 to break the record. Does that still, are we still fourth though? Still fourth though. I'll take 5-1. I mean, it's a good song, but let's not. I mean, I guess so. Gabriel Corbeau coming on for Montreal. I mean, 69th minute. That'll be Waterman for Corbeau. Waterman for Corbeau and Rita Zuhir coming on for Montreal. For 29, Matthew Chouanier. So Joe Waterman for Corbeau, Matthew Chouanier for Rita Zahir. Goal kick for Sawa in the 69th minute. Let's look at the table. Are we still fourth? Ah, crap, we're fifth. New York winning means we're fifth. NYCFC winning means we're fifth. Red Bull winning means we're fifth. That's just great. I mean, I won't complain about fifth in the East for now. We could easily bounce back over them at some point, but doesn't matter. Yeah, I think I will. Hold on. There we go. I think it's time to make this 22 points for TFC this year. So far, we have equaled the 2020 We have equaled the 2022 points total within 14 matches. Boom. So we're above 2023 as a club. We're a point away from being above 2012. We are 23, 24, 25, 3 points from being above 2007. So, cross in, DeAndre Kerr. So, if we win our next match in the league next Saturday, we will be above 2007. Or equal to 2007 points total, but be above it because we still haven't finished the season. We're above 2023 because they'd have to lose every game to not get one more point than 2023. That's not going to happen. Unless John Herdman gets fired for the Cushing thing. But I'm sure we'll have enough weeks with him that we'll pick up a point. Tyrese Spasser's off for Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy. I don't think it'll happen that soon. If it was to happen, I think we'll have at least, it'll probably be a month or two before that ends up happening if that was to happen. We should pick up a point in 2 months. We'd be screwed if we didn't. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy, cross in, headed away. 71st minute. Because I know there's a non-zero chance that this New York situation probably ends up getting him fired. Or getting him suspended indefinitely. Wouldn't shock me. 72nd minute. But as it stands, there we go. Above 2023 is Toronto. They've equaled the points total of 2023, and they will get a point at some point this year. They will get another point at some point this year. So I'm pretty sure on saying they're going to get another point at some point this year over the next 20 games. There's no way they go 0-0-20. There's no way. Cross. That'll go. Nope. 73rd minute. There's no way. Bradley Chubb has been showing up a few times. That's cool. You don't want me singing All I Want for Christmas. Then my voice does not fit that song. My voice does not fit that song. Petretta. 73rd minute. But there you go. Toronto, 22 points so far this year with 20 games to go. This will be 7 wins. Our 7th win in MLS. 8, 9, about to be 10 all comps. I think that beat the number of wins in 2021, I think. All comps. Header down. I think it did. '74th minute, 5-1. If I go to a George Strait concert, I'll buy a poster. I think Petretta currently isn't looking to be a permanent part of the starting 11. Too many mistakes. I agree, actually. I think Richie will replace him. I think Spicer could move over if Richie comes back. I think Cozy could play over him. Petretta, he's good. When he's good, he's good. When he's bad, or when he's empty-headed, he's empty-headed. You know, he's definitely not consistent. I think Cozy's more consistent. I didn't say he was great. I think Kobe's more consistent. I think Tyrese is more consistent. I think Richie's more consistent. I think anybody you can bring in is probably more consistent. Hell, you can bring back Aldo, and I think he would be more consistent. I wouldn't complain about that. He ain't that old, is he? I think he's like, what, 26, 27? 5-1 Toronto, yes. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they brought back Aldo. I could get behind that. I think Aldo is still better than Aldo Jr. is still better than Petretta. Just my opinion. I don't think Aldo would complain coming back anyway, if that was possible. I don't know why we got rid of Luca Petrasso. That was stupid. I think he's better than Petretta. I think one of the first things, I think that's something I would definitely, if I was a manager, I think that's something I would get done. K-Cal hat trick today will be there. I hope so. I hope so. Which Canadians do you think might be able to be added to TFC in the next window? I have a bad feel. I wouldn't say a bad feeling because that just sounds bad, but I feel like Toronto legit might just pettily take a flyer on the trade for Choinière. I could see it happening. Like, I could see Toronto trading for Matthew Choinière. Like, they need a guy like him. He could play the 10. We need a more attacking midfielder. I think it's a perfect trade. Like, if we could freaking rob Montreal of Matthew Choinière, I think it'd actually be a good move. It would be petty, but also be a good move. He don't want to be there. Now, yeah, of course, he could pull Laurent Simon and be a double agent, but I think Matthew Choinière just wants to play football and play the best he can. I think he's more an attacking midfielder. That's exactly what we need. I think that's something we've been aching for, even though we're winning for the past, since Pozuelo got thrown out the room. I think Choinière would be a perfect guy to go for. I really do. I mean, it'd be probably better if we could just get Jacob Schaffelberg back, but now that they fired Gary Smith, I think it's very much unlikely. Like, I think Gary Smith would dumbly trade Schaffelberg back if you gave him the right pieces. Hell, you could underpay him, and he would probably given Schaffelberg back. Now that it's not him, I think Schaffelberg is definitely going to be at Nashville. It's going to be a lot harder to bring him back from Nashville since they're not playing terrorist football anymore. They actually can use him, and he'll actually play better. Instead of just carrying them, he actually might just completely blossom. You know, that's... So, yeah, I think Choinière is the move. I think Choinière, honestly, is the move. I think it'd actually be great for Toronto and Petty at the same time. It'd be a big middle finger to Montreal and a good move for Toronto. Besides, I think we need to get our karma back for the Maxi Urruti trade. We need to make them look like idiots. I mean, not giving Choinière an extension is definitely an idiot move, but, well, I think we need to give them their end of the Maxi Urruti deal. Like, they need to have a moment where trading somebody to Toronto is probably the stupidest thing you could do. And it's also you're trading to a rival. We traded Urruti. Wait. Either way, that trade was still... He ended up in Montreal. I think it was. But it could have been Portland. But either way, trading Urruti was stupid. He ended up in Montreal anyway. Yeah, Alex Bono's playing at DC, and he's actually been starting recently. He actually hasn't been too bad. He's actually been pretty good. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that things are going better for him. He actually has a good goalkeeping coach. John Conway is the worst. Like, I'm actually... You know what I've realized? John Conway may have been a good goalkeeper. He's not a good coach. Look at what he did to our goalkeeping core as long as he was there. Alex Bono, high-level draft prospect. Has a great season in 2017, falls apart after losing to Chivas in the penalty shootout. Loses his mind, loses his confidence, never gets better. I feel like that's John Conway's fault. He couldn't ruin Julio Cesar because Julio Cesar wasn't here long enough. Joe Bendick wasn't great, was worse because of John Conway. Chris Konopka. Like, every goalkeeper we get ends up being worse by the end of the time they're here. Or at least as long as Conway was the coach. Stephen Fry becomes an MLS star when he goes to Seattle. He was good. He wasn't the Stefan Fry we know now. Here, ever. He was good. I think he truly became a star and a freaking absolute amazing goalkeeper against Toronto in that MLS Cup. But, like, game-breaking goalkeeper, he became that in Seattle. Quentin Westberg, I mean, age is probably part of it, but definitely Quentin Westberg went from a locked-on starter in 2019 to, if he's healthy, he's probably the better goalkeeper, but we're not so sure. And he also was very injury-prone. My point being, Sean Johnson had a horrible year last year. Horrible. One of the best goalkeepers in MLS, starts well, turns to shit. Now that there's actually a good goalkeeping coach there that Herdman brought in, guess what? Sean Johnson's back to one of the best keepers in MLS like he should be. I don't know about you, but I think John Conway's a legit horrible goalkeeping coach. Like, he legitimately is a horrible coach. I think it's his fault. I think it all makes sense. There's two things I've added up over the past couple of months. John Conway's a horrible goalkeeping coach, and it's his fault that Bono was crap, and others. And Bob Bradley was always the plan, even in 2021. Armas got railroaded, and Perez got railroaded because they didn't make the playoffs. Then Bradley comes in, and what happens, happens. Bradley being there in 2022 was always the plan, unless Armas or Perez were to make the playoffs. But they knew damn well the team that they gave both those guys, it was going to be hard sledding to get there. And Armas put them in such a hole that Perez was sort of railroaded by that hole as well. My point being is this. There are some things that I've added up that I should have known in the moment. But, yeah, no, definitely now. X-Files theme is just playing in my head, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Not surprised. Can Cowers and Deos today or Brandon Vasquez tomorrow win a spot for Copa America since they added spots? I think so, yes. Cowell, yes. Vasquez, yes. And Dejas, I'm not so sure. Not surprised. The big communication problem. Saputo doesn't care about this club. He only cares about Bologna, just sending underperforming, mediocre players from there. Yep. But you know what? He's going to get his because Thiago Motta is going to Juve. See, I actually have to, well, it's for the wrong reasons, but I hate that Bologna had the season they did. I hate Joey Saputo, of course, because he's the Montreal owner. I don't want him to have any success, even with his other team, but his team's going to be ripped apart because of their success, and they're going to suck, and he's going to cry. He's going to be in pain. But you're already there with Montreal. The team you actually care about, it's worse because he actually cares about Bologna. He doesn't care about Montreal. See what they did to Wilfried Nancy. They threw away a year with Hernan Losada, and luckily they end up with Laurent Courtois, which they're playing a bit better on paper, even though they're losing 5-1. But before this, they were playing good on paper. They still drew to Forge. Honestly, I could see them losing to Forge on Wednesday, which I may be live for that. But, you know, I thought Laurent Courtois has made them look a little bit better. So, I know Saputo owns Frigo cheese heads. I like string cheese, but I'm like, if you buy Frigo, no. We're not buying Frigo cheese heads because Saputo makes those damn things. We're not having anything Saputo in this house. No Red Bulls and no Saputo cheese. Neither. Exactly, on paper. Hey, at least I gave you that. I can tell the truth about what I think about. Like, when it comes to Montreal, like, I'll give them props when they deserve props. It's kind of hard not to do after the past 3 years Toronto have had. I can hate the team, but I can still give them props when they deserve it, especially when Wilfried Nancy was there. But even with Laurent Courtois, I mean, he can make this team better if they don't run him out of town. Once the players get back from injury, Kokoro gets back. I'm surprised they spent money on strikers, but you know, once Kokoro gets back, some of his players get back, and they don't trade Chouanier, they could sneak into the playoffs if they're not into that big of a hole. But it probably because Courtois, not because of Saputo. Oh, and they also fired the director of football like a week ago. So he left, which he was honestly the reason why they got some of these managers and got these players that are on paper have played well over the past couple of years. Renard, yep. Yeah. He left, and he's honestly the reason they got some of these players and managers. So now that he's gone, it's not going to be fun. Especially, yeah, they're going to legit trade Chouanier in the summer, aren't they? I just hope it's to Toronto. It's about time for them to do an Arudi. It's about time for them to do it for us. Yeah. Well, we've traded them our players. Kyle Becker. It's not like we haven't. Because Chouanier wants out. That's going to be probably the stupidest thing they could do. That's their best player. I haven't seen, I mean, I know Kokoro has scored a good bit before he got hurt, but I haven't seen enough. Toronto's problem was the manager. I agree. Bob Bradley was the problem. Offside. That'd be a free kick, 87 minute. Yeah, Bob Bradley was the problem. Well, no, Bill Manning's still the problem. It's just that he's letting John Herdman cook. I'm surprised he is. Bill Manning knows damn well that his job's on the line if he didn't let John Herdman cook. Because he would rather keep his job and just steal credit instead of get fired. I think everybody knows damn well that Jason Hernandez and John Herdman are the reason why this team is getting so much overperforming, honestly. They're the ones who found these players that have put a new bit of life in this club. Got Bernadeschi and Insigne back on side. The the locker rooms being rebuilt. I mean, it's a hard task, but a guy like John Herdman, he did it. Bill Manning and Bob Bradley and Ollie Curtis. Ollie Curtis was a problem because Bill Manning hired him. Chris Armas was a problem. Perez played some good football, but he got railroaded. Bob was horrible. Not an international expert. Why did Herdman leave the Canadian Football Association? He left the CSA, the Canadian men's national team, because, one, he didn't want to be part of it no more. He had familial problems. Like, he lost a family member. In his grief, he realized he probably shouldn't have went to the World Cup. He probably should have passed off the team then. But he wanted a new challenge. The financials of the association isn't great. The new general secretary, the new president, all the chaos within the federation. It's a lot of things, and he said that in an interview. But I think his grief of losing a family member made him realize that he wanted a new challenge, and he wanted a challenge that he didn't basically have to be a Superman to make it into a good team. Now, I mean, I think that's a lie because he took Toronto FC because he has to be a Superman to make this team good, but at least he's getting paid what he deserves. That's the difference. I guess between the lines, he also probably wanted to say, I want to get paid what I deserve to be paid. And I guess he wants to coach in Europe at some point, England at some point. I guess coaching a club team makes that easier, and you're also getting paid what you deserve. So, yeah, the CSA is a joke. That's pretty much why it is. I can't believe that they got Jesse Marsh, but they got a chance at Copa. Jesse Marsh is also a type of manager that could do what John Herdman did without the post-grief clarity. And it's not Mauro Biello. Not trying to disrespect your legend, but he's not a good manager. He is not. Just because you beat Trinidad and Tobago and get Montreal to one Eastern Conference final does not mean you're a good manager, at least as a main man. Maybe you're a good assistant. I'm not going to say you're not. You're a good academy director. But, I mean, I think Mauro Biello's a good assistant. I think he's a good academy director. He's not a good main man, though. He got to an Eastern Conference final, got curb stomped. He beat Trinidad. Anybody could do that except Bruce Arena. But with the players that Canada has, anybody could do that. Frickin' Frank Yallop could have beaten Trinidad with the players that we have. So, there you go. Yep. Bill Manning's still a problem, but if he stays aside from Herdman and company, he'll keep his job. If not, I expect him to be released. 3 minutes of stoppage time, 5-1. Biello's days were long gone after 2015. And he still got you to Eastern Conference final. But I think the game's passed him by as a main man. I think the game has passed him by. Even with that 2016 team, they had a lot of talent. He skated by on the talent that they had. Again, even when the game passed him by. Even back then, he was skating by on the talent that they had, which they had some talent. I mean, Dominic Aduro, the last couple of months there of Didier Drogba, Simon. Oh, speaking of Biello, his son, Alessandro Biello, is coming on for Jules Anthony Vasson in the 91st minute. But yeah, Jesse Marsh also coached Montreal in 2012, which is why he wanted to coach the Canadian national team. So he's doing something he always wanted to do 12 years ago. From 12 years ago. So, you know, it all worked out, I think, at least for Toronto and Canada. Montreal, on the other hand. '92nd minute. 5-1. But hey, does Berna have yellow card accumulation? If he gets a yellow card, he's suspended again. No, he did not get a yellow card tonight. So he will be able to play this next weekend. Of course, it doesn't matter if he gets a yellow card tonight, he'd still play Saint Laurent. If he did, he'd probably play all 90 minutes because it doesn't matter about Can Champ. But he did not get a yellow card tonight, so he plays next weekend. No, I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that'll happen. I do not think Montreal or any of the Canadian teams will be pushed out of the MLS. After basically paying the bill for Jesse Marsh, they know they can't push any of the MLS teams in Canada out of MLS into the CPL. They know they can't do that. They know they need these teams to even have a chance at competing and paying what they need and subsidizing the federation. If you push them to the CPL, they can't subsidize the federation. They won't. So I don't think you have to worry about that. Now, Saputo selling to somebody that moves him out of Montreal, now that's possible. I don't think he'll do that, though. Unless you stop spending money on him. And it's full-time. 5-1 Toronto. Full-time whistle is blown. They beat the ever-loving hell out of Montreal. That's how you win a derby. That's how you win a derby. They definitely broke the scum, yeah. 5-1. There's a hole in Quebec that they call Montreal. Go Dale, Montreal, go Dale. It was only 3 minutes of stoppage time. But GG's. With that being said, 5-1 Toronto. That's the win you wanted to see. A bounce back from the past two games. And there you go. Very likely I'll still be live for Forge Montreal or Montreal Forge on Wednesday. We'll probably do a double-double. We'll probably do a double-double like Tim Hortons. With that being said, if you like the stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification on subscribe. Send some chats on live streams. Comment on this video. Put us in play. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I'll see you within the hour for the review of this match. What a win. Let's go. I'm running. I'm out. Peace. Let's go.